Well, I am Kalisa Michael. Thank you all for attending today. The topic of today's session is get more sleep. This is part of the diabetes prevention program developed by the CDC, and North Mississippi Health Services has committed to also playing a role in that. And each month there's normally a different session. So the topic that we'll be on this time will be get more sleep, and we're going to talk about why sleep is important. But first, let's do a quick check-in. I'm not sure if any of you attended the last session, so we'll just do a quick little run through. Did anybody happen to attend the last session?
I did.
So that's one thing with diabetes. That's a common thing that everybody always thinks about, of course, is your food. You know that you have to eat well in order to control your diabetes. You know, if you don't eat enough, your blood sugars can run too low. You eat too much, they can get too high. So both of those are pretty well known, but a lot of people don't always think about how sleep affects your diabetes. So what we want to talk about today, our objectives, we want to talk about why sleep matters. And we also want to discuss challenges of getting enough sleep and some ways that we can cope with them. So why does sleep matter? So if you don't get enough sleep, what are you more likely to do? Y'all want to throw some things out?
Overeat.
What happens if we don't get enough sleep?
Overeat.
Right, we overeat. What else can happen? When you know you're too tired, maybe you shouldn't be working.
You can't think it straight.
Right, we can't think straight. Anything else?
Drink too many.
Drink a lot of sugary drinks.
Yes.
To get more energy.
Right. Let's look at some of these here that are common. What about being drowsy during the day? That happens to me all the time. I'm always drowsy. It can also make you sick. Along with making you sick, where your body just feels burnt out, you can also have trouble thinking. You can have trouble paying attention, getting things done. You're unable to focus on anything. Lose control of your car, which is terrible, but we, especially in the nursing profession, we've seen that a lot, where people lose control of their cars, they have car accidents, and a lot of times that's what it is attributed to, is not getting enough sleep. It can also cause you to be depressed because you're tired, your body's tired. As was said, it can cause you to eat more because that's a way to stay awake a lot of times. There's also, you can have high blood sugar, I'm sorry, because you're not sleeping, so your body's not regulating itself when it should be resting at night. Everything is still going. It can also cause you to gain weight. Now, if you'll notice, those last three things are in bold. Why do you think those three things are in bold letters?
Because they pertain to diabetes.
Exactly. It places you at risk for type 2 diabetes. Now, most of you are going to be familiar with diabetes, and type 1 is where you normally think about. Those are people who are insulin dependent. They have to have it to live. Whereas type 2 diabetics, we're not going to get too in depth, but those patients can actually prevent or delay their diabetes with healthier eating, exercise, and as we're talking about today, getting more sleep. So let's talk about how much sleep do you need? On average, adults need 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep each night. How many of y'all get that? Anybody? I don't. 1 in 4 Americans say that they sleep poorly, and guess what? 2 in 4 Americans with diabetes say that they sleep poorly. So the facts don't lie. Having diabetes, they need to sleep, because when you're not sleeping, your body is not processing fat as well, and your body has trouble knowing when you are full, when you do eat. Let's look at this picture here and see who can relate. How many of us are showing up to work looking like this?
Yes.
A lot of us, I'm sure. Many people are struggling, and we have an example here of a lady by the name of Jenny. She is struggling to get her sleep at night, and she is facing a lot of different challenges. So I have it up here on the screen. If you have your handout from the website, you can look on there, or you can look on the screen here. But would anybody like to read us Jenny's story so we can see what she's going through?
I will.
Okay.
Jenny is at risk for type 2 diabetes. Her doctor asks her if she gets at least 7 hours of sleep each night. Jenny laughs. Are you serious? She asks. I'm lucky if I get 5 hours. Jenny usually doesn't have much trouble falling asleep, but she often has to use the bathroom in the early morning. This gets her to thinking about all the things she needs to do the next day. Plus, her husband's breathing is loud. Both of these things make it hard for Jenny to fall back to sleep. She often lies awake for hours. These days, Jenny drinks less water and avoids caffeine in the evening. She makes a list of things to do the next day, then she sets it aside. Jenny rarely needs to get up to use the bathroom during the night. If she does, she breathes deeply to help her get back to sleep. She also runs a fan to cover up the sound of her husband's breathing. Jenny is closer to getting 7 hours of sleep a night.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Miss Angel, for reading that for us. So we know Jenny has type 2 diabetes, and she has been told how many hours of sleep that she needs. But what happens? What does she say happens that prevents her from even getting 5 hours of sleep? What challenges is she having?
She has to get up and use the bathroom, and her husband's just.
Yes, her husband may have some sleep apnea that's not diagnosed too. So all these things are keeping her awake. His breathing is loud. She can't go back to sleep when she wakes up. She's drinking a lot. So now that she knows the problems, she knows what's causing her to not be able to sleep. It seems like toward the end of our story, she's starting to recognize ways she can change that. So now, as it says in here, she's drinking less water. She's avoiding caffeine in the evening. She's making a list of things to do for the next day, so that's not bothering her at night. So now she's not using the bathroom at night. She's using a fan to cover up that sleep apnea that her husband probably has, and she's getting her sleep. So for you individually, if y'all just want to kind of go around, what are some things that makes it hard for you personally to get enough sleep?
My 3-year-old daughter that climbs in the bed every morning at 2.
Oh no. I don't
Stress.
think that can be fixed.
Go to bed early.
Right. What are some other things? Anybody staying up late watching TikTok or on Facebook?
Yes.
Me.
I think we're all guilty of doing that at some point. And the main focus is recognizing why you're not able to get the sleep that you need and being able to make the changes so that you can get the sleep that you need. These are all at some point have been in my head, preventing me from sleeping. Probably you guys too. You can see there's bills, stress, work, job, health, you're sick, overtime at work, or maybe you're not getting enough time at work. Fear today, especially with COVID, especially, a lot of people maybe have lost sleep because they are worried, or maybe they've unfortunately lost family members, to another health condition. So all those things can play a huge role in preventing us from getting the sleep that we need. So let's talk about some ways, if we know what we're doing that's preventing us from getting the sleep, let's talk about ways that we can cope with those challenges. So we'll go back. If you have your handout, you can turn to pages 4 through 6. If you do not have your handout, we'll just kind of do a quick run through of these. So if there's a challenge of staying up too late, trying to get things done, how maybe could we fix that?
Set a bedtime.
Good idea. We could set a bedtime. What are some other things we could do?
Put your phone down.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. Sometimes just changing our priorities can make a huge difference. Some may say they're too hot or they're too cold. Those are normally pretty easy fixes, right? If you're cold, get a blanket. If you're hot, maybe you might need to invest in a fan. What about if your bed partner is restless or snores? Don't pop them over the head like I may do with my bed partner at times. What are some other things we can do if that's the problem?
White noise generator, separate bed.
Yes, yes, those are good ideas. And what if there's too much noise? Like some people, maybe not us, but maybe in bigger cities, maybe they live in a area where there's a lot of traffic, or maybe they live by a railroad crossing. What are some things they could do?
Wear earplugs.
Good idea. Good idea. Or move. What if there's too much light?
Blackout curtains.
Right. And I will tell you, with a lot of people, especially in the healthcare field and other areas that work night shift, that is a huge factor, getting their sleep off balance. So having too much light can definitely trick your body and make it think that it should be awake when it should not. I can't get comfortable. How can we fix those issues?
New bed.
Right? If you can't afford a new bed, what could we do?
Maybe get up and walk around for a little bit and then go back to bed.
Right. That's a good idea. And I know a
Reposition.
lot of times people, I'm sorry?
Reposition.
Yes, reposition. And I know sometimes people will have special mattresses or toppers placed on their bed to kind of help with the comfort if they can't afford the actual new bed that they might need. What if they're thirsty during the night?
You need to hydrate during the day before it's 5
Right.
and 6. Yeah, not wait till late in the evening to drink.
Right. And I know a lot of people will keep water by their nightstand, and that's not necessarily the best thing to do because that will have you going to the bathroom more frequently during the night. Like we said, keep getting up to use the bathroom. So, as Angel mentioned, hydrate during the day, maybe have a cutoff time. That's something I struggle with. I like to have a sip of something before I go to bed, and I always have to get up. So, maybe cutting the time off instead of drinking your last drink at 9, let's push it back, maybe 7 or 8 o'clock before you go to bed. I feel anxious or alert. Some people, maybe I always think about people who drink a lot of the sports or energy drinks, kind of having trouble sleeping. What are some things they could do if they feel anxious or alert at night?
Decrease their screen time before they go to bed. That blue light stimulates sunlight and messes up your circadian rhythm.
Right, exactly. And I don't think a lot of people realize how big of a role that plays. It used to just be your TV, but now it's this handy dandy phone, and it actually is causing a lot of problems, especially in children too.
And sometimes melatonin or even lavender oil, a little aromatherapy is helpful.
Right, good. I know for those of you with small children, I know that helped me some in the past is using some lavender, maybe taking a bath before bed with the lavender. And speaking of bed and things to do to kind of help your body relax and unwind, what are some other things we can do to help us unwind when it is time to go to bed?
Meditate.
Take a bath.
Oh, good. Yeah. What are some other things?
Yeah, someone already said take a bath. A warm bath is good.
Yes. Yes, a warm bath.
Only use your bed for sleeping. That way, when you go to bed, that helps you relax and go to sleep. And for, intimate moments, but not for watching TV or laying around, things like that.
Yes. And I'm so guilty of doing that because my bed is so comfortable, but I know it's wrong. And that probably is affecting my sleep as well at night. Good point. And here are some other things. I'm sorry, you had another thought?
Set a routine.
Oh, yes. Yes. I think that's always good too, is to have a routine all the time. Let's see. So some other ways we can unwind: breathe deeply. It was mentioned that we could meditate. You could always try dimming the lights, drinking something warm, which remember our cutoff, we don't want to drink it too late because then we may still be up. Get a massage. So how many of you are going to tell your mates, your bed partners, that you have to have a massage tonight? Because that's how you will need to get your sleep to help prevent type 2 diabetes. Listen to soothing music. Sometimes I've done that. Have any of y'all tried that?
Yeah, I sleep with
Yes.
it in the background.
Oh,
Mhm.
like the elevator music. That would be good.
Weightless by Micronia Union is shown to help you sleep.
Yes, yes, yes. That is an excellent idea. It also mentions we can make a list of things to do the next day before we go to bed. I could see how that would be beneficial. Kind of planning your day out the next day. You would just have to be able to not think about it while you sleep. And I think that's what I'm guilty of.
That's helping you to get it off of your mind by writing it down.
So your mind can be a blank slate. That's a good idea. Read a soothing book. Any of you read before you go to bed?
The Bible will put you right to sleep.
Yes, it will. And stretching. Getting a good stretch, kind of getting your whole body relaxed, can also help you to unwind. We mentioned taking a warm bath or a shower. And then writing in a journal, maybe kind of writing a collective note about your day, what was good about your day, what was not good about your day. That can all help you to unwind. Anything else any of you would like to add that maybe helps you to unwind?
Yes, I like to pray. Anytime I can't sleep, if I pray, I immediately get that peace and I nod off.
Yes. Good. That is excellent. Yes. And prayer works miracles. Now, this brings us to our action plan. Now that we've talked about our challenges to sleep and ways to unwind, before we get in our action plan, I do want to mention, though, some sleep challenges could be related to a health condition. So if you are ever worried, it's okay to try all these things that we have discussed, but always follow up with your healthcare provider to make sure there's nothing else that could be going on with your body. So for those of you who've never attended one of these sessions, the action plan journal is something that's done after each session to help prevent type 2 diabetes or delay any complications from it. So with a plan, this is just helping you to achieve your goal. So this session, we talked about getting more sleep. So then our action plan, we want to include what can we do to help ourselves get more sleep. The plan should be realistic, doable, specific, and flexible. You want to try to focus on behaviors. So between now and the next session, really think about ways you can improve your sleeping habit. Think back on Jenny's story. We saw what things were challenging for her and how she was able to kind of go back and make changes in her life so that she could get the sleep she needed. So think about changes that you could make in your life, and then also write down ways that you can try to unwind at the end of the day. This is what the action plan looks like. If any of you want to print it out, you set a goal that you want to work on. It needs to be a measurable goal. So what will you do? So for example, I will get 8 hours of sleep tonight. Where will you do it? Well, if you're at your mom's, you'll do it there. If you're at home, you'll do it at home. When will you do it? Whenever you think you want to try it. How long will you do it? We hope forever. Challenges that you might face and different ways that you can cope with those challenges. Sometimes we can have similar challenges to other people, but sometimes we may have challenges that are only unique to us, our life, and our family. So really evaluate that for yourself, so that you can make the best plan for you, something that you can always follow. And it's okay if you don't do it every night, but the goal is to at least have a plan in place and try. So that will conclude our presentation.
I also just want to give a little information here. I know we have a lot of new participants tonight, and we're so thankful that you're with us. And just for those that have not been a part of this series before, just a little more information about how the lack of sleep actually affects your blood sugar. So what does it do? It actually causes you to become insulin resistant when you have a decrease in sleep. And it's been shown that as people that have less than 6 hours of sleep are actually twice as likely to have insulin resistant cells. So that's really how this can play into how your sleep can play into and affect you developing or controlling your diabetes. And so I just wanted to mention that. Those of us that have been doing this class are aware of that, but I knew there were some new people, and I just wanted to bring that up. All right. Well, like Ms. Kalisa said, our next session will be November the 2nd, and it will be talking about getting back on track. So we hope that you all will join us. Y'all have a great night.